on the internet. And I said, okay. Now, in every seminar, all kinds of people come up and they give you an idea. What they really want me to do is execute their idea. That's pretty common. At any rate, we put the idea together. I might have spent 2 days, but I didn't do it in 2 days. It would be a few minutes here and a few minutes there, but probably 2 days in the last year, and it has done $1 million in business. Simple idea, but it was done on the internet. Now, do you know, some of you are looking at what Sean was showing you, and you're thinking, there's got to be more to it. Well, he gave you in there, he pointed out that he didn't know how to do most of the things that he was doing. Did you remember that? Do you know, Andrew Carnegie talked to Napoleon Hill, and he mentored him, and he said the accumulation of great wealth calls for power. And power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. Now, you've got to admit, what he was talking about was highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. How many would agree with that? Okay, let me repeat what he said, because there's a tag to it. He said the accumulation of great wealth calls for power, and power is acquired through highly organized and intelligently directed specialized knowledge. But the person who accumulates the wealth does not have to be the one that has the knowledge. Now, I have earned millions of dollars. I went to high school for 3 months. They asked me to leave. I was not at all disappointed. In fact, I was probably happier than they were. I never went back to school. I had absolutely no business experience, and yet my whole life changed on a dime. You see, what you have to do is you got to make a decision. Now, some of you, how many of you have been listening to CDs and going to seminars for a long time, and you're a little frustrated because it just isn't clicking for you? How many fall into that category? Wait a minute. We got to get honest here. How many can hold their arm above their shoulder? Let me see. All right, get the other arm up. Sean, you get the wallets, all right? Now, let's try this again. How many of you have been studying personal growth, entrepreneurial skills, and that for a while, but it just isn't clicking yet? You haven't made your fortune. Let's see you show it. Now, you see there was more hands went up that time. Let's try this one more time. How many of you have been studying this kind of material for some time, but you just haven't cashed in yet? Let me see a show of hands. I see there's more hands go up. One of the first rules is you got to get honest with yourself. See, until I get honest with myself, I was screwing up every turn of the road. I was unhappy, I was sick, I was broke. When I got honest with myself, everything started to change. Now, what is the main thing? Well, let's think about it for a moment. Here's the main thing right here. You get one bite at the apple. Now, I've studied reincarnation probably as much as anybody, but I haven't anybody prove to me that they're back for the 21st trip. You know, so far as we know, this is it. We get one life, and it's about lifestyle. And most people are not living the way they really want to live. It's about contribution. The people that get the most are the ones that give the most. Sandy Gallagher and I were up at Cy Ranch. Are you familiar with Cy seminars, Sean? We were up at Cy Ranch. They have a series of seminars that are quite extraordinary, really. They have basic, which is 4 days. Then they have Psi 7, that's 7 days, that's done at a ranch. The basic's done around different countries and places. And then they have men's leadership, women's leadership. That's 10 days. It's done men separate from the women. And then they have, for the graduates, they have what's called Principia. And they do that each year. Now, I've been with them since they started to do Principia, so I go there every year for Principia. I was up there with Michael Beckwith and Ricky, who started the morning I left, from the Secret. let's see, Debbie Ford was there working the same day I was working there. She's the one, you know, the Dark Side of the Light Chasers. And she's got the new movie out, The Shadow. Brilliant gal. But they did something extraordinary. And they do things that are extraordinary at Psi. Psi seminars are, they're pretty old seminars. They've been around a long time. And they had 650 people on the ranch. It was about a 2,000-acre ranch up at Clear Lake Oaks, California. And on Tuesday night, they had school buses come and pick up 650 people. Now, there was doctors and lawyers and secretaries and truck drivers. I mean, just the greatest collection of people you ever saw, and they come from all over the world. You know, they're from Korea, Australia, Europe, Israel. And the bus took them all to a dirt field in a very poor area. And this dirt field was where kids played soccer. I mean, it was dusty, dirty. It was a dirty place. And now a soccer field's a pretty big field. 2 hours and 16 minutes later, that field was sodded. The lady that owns Psi Seminars, Jane Wilhite, she strategized the whole deal, and it was phenomenal watching this happen. It's on film, and I'll give you an opportunity to watch the film. I'll tell you later how you can do this, and a letter about it, because the next day there was a big write-up in the newspaper. I mean, this was pretty incredible to sod a field in 2 hours and 16 minutes, and it was all volunteers. There's the doctor working next to the secretary and so on, and that whole place was done. Now, I want you to imagine the next morning when these poor little kids come running back to school and the whole field's carpeted with nice green grass. Do you know, that's going to impress them. They're going to remember that for as long as they live. That'll never leave their mind. And then it's impacted everybody in that neighborhood. Everybody that read the paper. Here I am in Dublin, Ireland, not a week later, yet I'm telling you about it. You're going to go tell somebody. And it was all because a lady marshaled the minds of 650 people and got them all to make a contribution. Now, the people that benefited most from this were the ones that were laying the sod. They had a phenomenal time. They had big speakers going and all kinds of jazzy music going on. I mean, it was incredible. Yeah, and I was talking to them when I was working with them the next day, you know, and the satisfaction they got out of this. You couldn't have bought the feeling that they got. So you see, it's not just about lifestyle, it's also about our contribution. It's really about how we spend our days. What did John say work was? It was bad. I mean, who wants to work? Do you know that working is the very worst way to earn money? It is. I'm not exaggerating. That's not just a cute line. Napoleon Hill said, if you are one of those people who believe that hard work and honesty alone will bring riches, perish the thought, because it's not true. He said, riches come, if they come at all, in response to definite demands, based upon the application of definite principles, and not by chance or luck. That's what John was talking about. That's exactly. Now, he said it many different ways, and he come at you all kinds of different angles, lots of slides, but that's exactly what he was talking about. Now, there's a law of compensation, and that law is very clear. It's very clear, and most people never learn it. 1% of our population earns 96% of all the money that's being earned. It is absolutely absurd when you look at it. Yet, if a person wasn't familiar, they'd say, well, I don't believe that. Well, don't believe it. It's still true. Most of what we do believe is not true. We believe that you should go to work to earn money. That is the very worst way to earn money. You should go to work for satisfaction. You provide service to earn money. Now, think of this for a moment. The law of compensation says the amount of money you earn will always be in exact ratio to the need for what you do, your ability to do it, and the difficulty there is in replacing you. Now, let's just use